All right, I'm gonna try a dramatic pause. You ready? You ready? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Fantastic Reviews. Hello, internets! This is Fantastic Reviews, your go-to for opinionated thoughts and quips on movies, video games, comics, and all of the things we like to fangirl out about. This is the second podcast. I am Joe. I will be your host once again for this episode. Joining me, as always, to the United States little brother to the north, who is somehow more mature than us, Canada, is Marcel.
You say mature.
Mothra! Mothra!
That's because they moved out of their mom's basement a lot earlier than we did.
They really did. Well, we moved out earlier, but they were better at it.
Problem is we didn't have basements. We had apartment buildings.
Yeah, see, you got to go live on your own for a bit. Mm-hmm. Just have some time.
Yeah.
We had that rebellious teenager phase, and we were just like, fuck it, I know everything, and left, and now everything is falling apart.
I still know everything.
It's just falling apart.
The female voice that you guys are hearing is our own little personal Harley Quinn. That is Jenna.
It's funny because she is little.
I will kill you.
She's very feisty, though.
Most little people are.
Small but fierce.
I would not want to get into a fight with her. And I live with her, so that's kind of hard.
Yeah.
For this episode on this podcast, the movie we will be reviewing is Deadpool. Deadpool. Now, before I begin, warn everyone listening, there will be spoilers from this point on. If you don't want the movie spoiled, pause the podcast, watch the movie, and come on back. I promise we'll still be here. You know we'd never leave you. Again, spoilers up ahead.
You know, sometimes we call Joe Rick Astley because he's never going to give you up.
Never going to give you up. Never going to let you down. If I was any better at video editing, maybe somehow I could fit in like a Rickroll clip in that. That would be fun.
That's your goal for next week. You know what? Maybe I can put in like, you know what? Never mind. I was gonna say maybe I can drop in like an audio clip, but I don't want to pay for the royalties.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Anyway, So as always, we will begin this review with the 2-sentence synopsis. And this week, I think I will choose Marcel to do it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to do it in one sentence. It is a hesitant anti-hero looking for vengeance, and hilarity ensues.
Yay!
I wrote it down. I knew it.
You prepared.
We're prepared this week. We're on the same page this time.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually pretty accurate.
Yeah. Can I just say that we're doing Deadpool. Everyone knows Deadpool. There's a lot of swearing in Deadpool. So, Disclaimer, I'm going to make a point of swearing a fucking lot.
I love it. I love it. I'm all about it.
Mm-hmm.
I am on that fucking train.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so what worked with the movie? What didn't work? What did you like? What didn't you like? Marcel, I think you have a lot of notes already prepared from what it sounded like, so why don't you lead the reins?
All right, sure. Well, I wouldn't say a lot of notes, but here, listen. I'm not going to go over a lot of English class bullshit this episode. I'm going to get down to brass tacks. So I just want to preface this by saying that I really did enjoy the movie. I did like it. I did. And most of the people that know do like it. I love it. But I'm not going to fucking fangirl on it the same, I'm not going to say the same shit you've already heard. Everyone said it. You've heard it. You've probably fucking said it yourself. So I'm not going to go there. What I'm going to do is just sort of give you my honest opinion without going into the character development and all that kind of crap. This was a great movie. The R rating was perfect for this character. The role was made for Ryan Reynolds, and it's a fantastic action romp full of explosions, one-liners, and comedy. But this isn't a superhero movie. The only thing in this movie that makes it an actual superhero movie outside of the tights was that there were X-Men cameos in it. That's it. Deadpool is I get it. He's got some abilities. He can heal himself, but I mean, he is not a fucking superhero. He really isn't.
No, not at all.
No, he
says that himself.
Yeah, he is not. And I have a hard time calling Batman a superhero. A hero, yeah. Super, not as much.
His superpower is his exorbitant wealth.
Yeah, but
So is
anybody
Tony
can
Stark's.
have that if they have a wealthy family that gets shot in the streets.
We're at war now.
But
It's the great war. Why are we divided yet again?
I'm the same way I think about Iron Man as well. They don't have superpowers. That's what makes super things super. So if they have wealth and knowledge, that's great. And they're not to say they're any less heroes, but they're not super in any way, shape, or form. So to really define a superhero as something that makes it super, like powers, they don't have them. Deadpool, he has some powers. He heals himself. Does it make him super? I don't know. I wouldn't really call it a superhero movie, other than the X-Men cameos, and that's it. But look at this. If you peel away the delightful comedy, the foul language, the name drops and cameos, what you're left with in this movie is a standard cookie cutter gritty action flick, like the thousands of the ones that came before it. Like I don't know. The whole formula of this movie is incredibly cookie cutter. It's incredibly predictable. It's just dressed up really, really well. It's a great movie. Like I said, I really enjoy this movie, and everyone I know enjoys this movie. I just wanted to be like objective here. I wanted to sort of play the devil's advocate, because I don't want it to be a show about this movie where we all just really fangirl out over it because we all really loved it. That's it.
I think you're right about the whole movie tone of it. As far as Deadpool, the superhero thing, super yes, hero no. He does have the power of healing. I feel like there might be some better than average strength in there too. I don't know for sure, but. As far as your take on the movie, that it's very cookie cutter without the character, you're absolutely right. That, and it's a good point. It's something I never thought of before, but this is a Deadpool movie. Deadpool himself is what makes the movie. Without Deadpool, you have nothing. So it really is it is all about Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool.
And I guess to a certain extent I agree with that, because if you take Deadpool out of the movie, you still have a movie, but he's what makes it fun. Whereas if you look at other movies, if you take a character out and replace it with a different character, you still have the same exact movie. This one, if you take Deadpool out, it's not the same movie anymore. That being said, you're both wrong. Deadpool's a superhero, and I love him.
But if you think about it, no. If you think about it, it's right though. I mean, it is the same cookie cutter, but the difference between all of these types of movies, though, is the main character.
True.
That really is the only difference, and I think that is a good point. But the reason why this movie was so popular is because it is Deadpool. It's what the fans wanted to see.
Well, I also have to say that every movie is going to follow some basic format of the movies that come before it. If you're telling a romantic comedy, you have certain things that make it a romantic comedy. So you're going to have to follow a certain sort of formula. You don't have to follow it to a T, but there's some elements in there that are going to be the same movie to movie no matter what, because that's what makes it a romantic comedy. That's what gets you into that genre. It's what makes it a horror movie. It makes it a sci-fi movie. What makes it a love story. What makes it a comedy. But the way it was told, I think, in a different way, and mainly because it was Deadpool. Deadpool was telling the story, and it worked very well. I love the movie too, and I will fangirl out about it all goddamn day long. Thanks very much. But I do agree with your point. It was a very basic story overall. If you take all the trappings away from it, it was a basic story. It was a revenge story. It was a love story. And it does work well without all the other characters as a story itself, which I think is something great that movie does, because if you take out the trappings of other movies, sometimes the story itself falls apart. So it was a very well-told story, and it was told in a different way because it was funny, it was irreverent, it was off-the-wall crazy at some points, and it made you excited, and it made you laugh, and it didn't just make you sit there for 2 hours going, oh my God, why did my girlfriend take me to this movie? I better get sex after this,
What do you guys think about the X-Men being in the movie? Do you think that was do you think it added to the plot? Do you think it added to the storyline, or do you think it was just we don't have enough story, let's just throw this in there?
I think they had to have cameos of somebody. I personally love the X-Men in it, and I think they picked some really good characters to be in it because they weren't the main characters you've seen in a movie again and again and again that you got tired of them. Especially Negasonic Teenage Warhead, who we've never seen in a movie before, as far as I'm aware. Maybe she's in a background somewhere, but they brought in characters that either you don't know a lot about for a regular moviegoer, and they told their story in an interesting way that made them fit in with the movie they were telling and the story that they were going for. So I personally liked it.
Being a casual X-Men fan, I did not even know that Negasonic Teenage Warhead existed.
Yeah, she actually does. She actually does exist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Marcel.
So.
I think that they were absolutely necessary because in the realm of comic book heroes, Deadpool is not an overly popular hero. Like, you have your A-listers, like your X-Men's, your Spider-Men's, your Captain America's, even Iron Man wasn't an A-lister before the Iron Man movies. So, I mean, when you really think about the character as a whole, yes, there was a lot of people who really loved them, but the mainstream, absolutely not. I knew nothing about Deadpool. I thought that, what's this guy? This is Spider-Man with guns. And then I read up on it and I saw the movie and I'm like, this is really great. But they really needed to add something in there to sort of bridge the gap, because people are going to go to see a hero movie regardless. It doesn't matter who it is or what it's about. People are going to see hero movies because hero movies are all the rage. But you needed to have something familiar to sort of bridge the gap between, okay, so where does Deadpool fit in the world that's being built for Marvel, or in this case for the X-Men people. So they were absolutely necessary. Did they contribute to the story? They did add something to it. Were they necessary outside of bridging that gap? I really don't think so. I think that they were added in there primarily to add some familiarity to people who knew nothing about Deadpool.
I agree.
It's a really good point because it does show, Colossus comes up to Deadpool a few times throughout the movie. He's like, hey, you should join the X-Men. We can help you. You're really making a difference. And Deadpool's like, no, fuck you. I'm not a hero. So I think that is probably the main point of having the X-Men in the movie, because Deadpool falls in the comics. Deadpool does fall into quite a few different. He falls in with a couple of different groups. He wants very desperately to be an Avenger, but he does wind up teaming up with the X-Men a lot. So I think that's a good point.
I also feel like they brought a good counterbalance to what Deadpool brought to the movie, because you see him as the anti-hero. He's not a bad guy, but he's definitely looking out for himself. And if he can, you see in the beginning of the movie where if he can do a little bit of good, he definitely will if he feels like it's right. But he's not going to go out of his way to do anything for someone if he doesn't care about it. So they bring a good counterbalance to that, where Colossus especially is. He's like, you're a hero. A hero has to be a hero. This is what a hero does. And back to your point, Marcel, about Deadpool not being a superhero, I really believe that he is, because at the end of the day, a superhero is somebody who, it's at the base level of it, and because this is the reason I believe Batman is a superhero as well, it's not the powers that make you a hero. You could be a supervillain. Lex Luthor is a supervillain without any powers too, because he is, at the end of the day, an evil person who only wants to benefit himself, to give to the destruction and decimation of anybody else in his way. But a hero is someone who's going to stand up for what they believe is right. Now, whether or not Deadpool does it well, or if he does it mainly for his own benefit aside, he still does what he believes is right in a funny and hilarious and very good way when he shoots someone in the head, and we really appreciate that. But a superhero, it's someone who has to rise above the level of a regular hero.
Well,
a regular
that's
hero
still
can only go so far.
That's a hero in general. Merriam-Webster defines a superhero as a fictional character having extraordinary or superhero powers.
I mean, he also regenerates a hand and comes back from the dead.
That's the thing.
Alive,
So, I mean, he does have abilities, and he's borderline superhero. I still wouldn't call him that because he doesn't use those powers to be a hero.
I would disagree, but your point is valid.
I guess it is a matter of perception because Deadpool doesn't see himself as a hero, but
That's what makes him even more of a hero.
But but wait, let me finish though. But the whole revenge plot is about, well, I guess it is getting back at Ajax, but it's also about trying to save Vanessa as well. So
it's entirely self-serving. Like, this entire movie is self-serving. It's all about him and what he wants, and Vanessa just happens to be what he wants. If that was anyone else, he could give two shits, and he would not go through the lengths that he did. And
yet, at the beginning, before he becomes Deadpool, and that girl hires him to go after her stalker, he doesn't take her money. He helps her out because he believes it's the right thing to do. Now, Deadpool, I mean, he's always going to be self-serving. I'm going to throw. I mean, that's accurate. He's going to be a self-serving person who's doing what he wants when it's fun and interesting for him, and because that's what he wants to do. No one's going to make him do anything he doesn't want. But I mean, even in the comics, he stands up for the little guy more often than not. Again, it has to be something that he believes is right, whether or not that goes against everybody else's opinion or not. But he does do that.
He does in the comics, though. He does have a tendency to stick up for the little guy when it does kind of benefit him. So, to Marcel's point, it is still pretty self-serving.
I would align him as chaotic good.
I'm not denying that.
I would align him as chaotic good, overarchingly good guy, but only because it, the good guy alignment kind of meshes with what his whole thing is, like what his whole spiel is. Like, I'm going to be a good guy because the bad guys are opposing me, and that's the only reason, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah. But going back to what you said, Jenna, I think at the beginning of the movie, he didn't take money from her. The way I took that whole mercenary business to go down is that someone goes in there, pays money, and then, the guy running the bar gives the mercenary that gold card and says, "This is your target," and he redeems the gold card for whatever money probably was already given ahead of time. That's what I meant that whole thing to be.
Yeah, and then he says, make sure he gets back to her. He's not taking any babysitter money.
Oh, I missed that.
And then and then when the other girl says, "Can you fuck up my stepdad?" He said, "We only do it to people who deserve a beating." One of the others, she could pay another mercenary to do it, but he's not going to go just kick a guy's ass just to kick a guy's ass.
Okay, I missed that little caveat.
Now, that might just be something just from the movie. I don't know as much about the comics as you do, because I know you're a huge Deadpool fan and you read his comics all the time. So maybe that was just something that was thrown into the movie to make him more of a relatable superhero-ish type character. But it's those little things that he does throughout the movie that make me believe that he's a superhero. And back to the point you made where you said he doesn't see himself as a superhero. That's kind of what makes it even better, because he's not doing it to be a hero. He's just doing it. He's just out there doing that. And whether it is self-serving or not, and he kills a ton of people who should be dead. Superheroes should kill more bad guys. Throwing that out there too. That's one more bad guy off the street. And whether or not it was because Deadpool just decided he wanted to go kill some guys today, or because maybe they burnt down an orphanage and he thought that was against the rule today because it's Tuesday. He did it. So.
All right. Well, let's take a second to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is the man Ryan Reynolds himself.
Oh God, Ryan Reynolds.
See, here's the thing. I see this as kind of like a chicken and the egg kind of catch here. Like, was the part made for Ryan Reynolds, or was Ryan Reynolds made for the part? Who can answer that question?
Well, I mean, Deadpool came first.
I'm pretty sure Ryan Reynolds was born before Deadpool was created.
So he came out of the womb reading a Deadpool comic. That was it. That was done. That is his personality forever.
I think Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool's fourth wall broken avatar. Like, like you're playing World of Warcraft and you have your avatar in game. Well, Ryan Reynolds is kind of like Wade Wilson's avatar in real life. He's playing a game called Real Life, and Ryan Reynolds just happens to be his character.
That is the most accurate statement that I can think of to make. Yes, that is.
Like that is.
And we're going to close on that because that's the best thing that I have heard all day. No, I'm kidding. We got more to talk about. But yeah, no, as the movie was coming close to coming out, I think Ryan Reynolds definitely embodied Deadpool. Like he definitely for a while became Deadpool. I don't think there was any separation between the two.
I don't think he became Deadpool. He just happened to be himself, and Deadpool came along, and he's like, okay, cool. And then he just didn't do anything different. I think that's the thing, is that character is so perfect for him. He's such a smartass. Maybe he pours it on maybe a little more thick for that character, but I mean, that there isn't any practicing he had to do for that. He need to learn how to use a katana or two of them. You need to learn how to point the fake gun. That's it. That's all he did. He learned his lines. That's all he fucking did.
He actually wrote most of them, I think. So.
There's probably like a I haven't seen like the DVD or Blu. Who has a fucking DVD player anymore? No, I haven't seen the Blu-ray, but there's gotta be like outtake reel that is longer than the movie of just different versions of every line.
There's got to be. They have some outtakes on the Blu-ray, but I couldn't even imagine that it scratches the surface.
Yeah, wait for the special edition director's cut DX fucking re-release Disney Vault bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. I think this was. I think people started seeing him as Deadpool personally, like around the time he was in Blade Trinity.
Yes.
You guys remember that movie?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Do you know how often Ryan Reynolds has a shirt off in that movie? Because I do.
I'm sure you do.
I do.
I'm sure you do. Well, it's pretty well known that Deadpool, this movie was 10 years in the making, going back to Wolverine Origins.
Oh, God. Let's not talk too much about that.
In which they inexplicably sewed his mouth shut. But from what I understand, that was actually, Ryan Reynolds kind of read that, and he's like, this ain't right. And the studio was kind of like, well, you're going to do it, or we're going to find somebody else. So that's kind of like how they went down, and that's kind of how, in the area where Fox was fucking up every X-Men movie they got their hands on. But the road to Deadpool, though, I have a really good quote from Ryan Reynolds where he was talking to the LA Times. He said, it would vanish off the radar, then it would come back. It was a real sort of emotional yo-yo. I've always likened it to the worst relationship I've ever been in. On again, off again, occasionally sleeping together, which just causes more pain. And then finally it ended in a really lovely wedding. And I think that kind of summarizes it up really good. Mm-hmm. And according to everything I've read, the test footage that got leaked in 2014 is what cemented Fox to give this the green light. And Reynolds himself said he didn't know who leaked it, or he does know who leaked it. It wasn't him, but he's not telling.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I wouldn't either.
Yeah. And it wasn't it like that test footage leaked. It got so many hits the first day.
Oh yeah.
That it was 2 days later they greenlit the movie.
Yeah.
Like they were blown away by how well received it was, and whether or not that's because there are so many Deadpool fans that they just did not know there was that big of a fan base for, or because it was also done so well that people who weren't fans loved the shit out of it. It just blew everything else out of the water.
I think it brought together two fandoms. There's the fandom of people who just absolutely love anything that Ryan Reynolds does, and kind of ignoring Green Lantern, and
that is not Ryan Reynolds' fault.
And everybody who loves Deadpool, and these two fandoms are big enough on their own that when that test footage came out and they knew it was Ryan Reynolds doing, I think everyone just went nuts, and then we got what we got.
I didn't even know it was Ryan Reynolds when I saw the test footage.
Oh, yeah.
I just saw it and I lost my mind. And I'm not even I wasn't at that point a Deadpool fan. I knew who he was, but it wasn't. I'm not a hardcore Deadpool fan. I just loved that released footage. It was fantastic. And I Googled instantly, is this going to be a movie? And Google was like, maybe.
Yeah, you and thousands of other people.
We broke the internet for about a little bit.
Kind of. Well, I would say it turned out to be a good decision because their production budget was small. It was only $58 million. Pocket change.
Considering.
Which is also funny because they reference their small budget several times throughout the movie. It's some great scenes. The movie raked in domestically $363 million. Worldwide, $417 million. For those of you keeping track at home, that's about $800 million that this movie brought in. It's about, I did the math, it's about 13 times the production budget is what it made.
And it deserved to make that too.
Unbelievable. So good. But one of the things that I want to talk about too, one of the topics that I'd like to go over, and I think is partially credited with what made this movie so big, was just the absolute marketing blitz that they had for this movie. I don't know what it was like in Canada though, Marcel. I don't know if you could speak to that at all.
It's the same.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't really know how it works over there.
He's 4 hours away. I don't know how things work that way.
It's not that different. In fact, I would say that 98% of the channels that are available in like the cable packages here are American. It's so much so where they've made it law that in any cable package you have to have a certain number of Canadian channels included.
Oh my God.
So anything that you get over there as far as marketing, we get to. It's really not that different, barring the ketchup chips.
Also, to put this in perspective, where we live, it takes us 7 hours to get back to New Jersey. It takes us 4 hours to get to Marcel in Canada. But we don't know how things happen over there. It's just too far away.
All right, you're taking it out of context. Stop making fun of me.
Softball that in. I can't help it.
All right.
But to your point about the marketing, it was done phenomenally well in this age where the trailers are coming out too soon, too many, and giving away too much information. Months before the movie comes out, Deadpool was perfect. We had a few teaser trailers here and there, one full trailer I think that was actually a trailer for the movie, and the rest of it was just Deadpool being Deadpool, just marketing the shit out of everything, and sometimes not even talking about the movie. Just not even talking about the movie. Just doing his thing, and then at the end it was like Deadpool's coming out on the 12th, and then it was
the PSA for checking yourself for testicular cancer.
That was great.
Oh man. But yeah, it's the success of their marketing I read was that because the people who made the movie, they were given a budget for the marketing. I don't know how much it was. I didn't see that. But they were given a budget, and they were just told just to do it however they wanted to do it. And I think they pretty much just gave that money to Ryan Reynolds and said, what should we do? and he's like, I fucking know what we're going to do with this shit. But they were heavily focused on social media and viral marketing. That included, the trailers. There was YouTube videos, like the YouTube video about what Deadpool's doing on Halloween. Did you guys see that?
Oh, I love that. Whose kids did he steal to do this?
I have no idea. It was so good. So good. And if you subscribe to like their email thing, they had the 12 Days of Deadpool that led up to Christmas Day with the Red Band trailer. Oh man, it does not get more genius than this. It really doesn't.
And I mean, again, they did so well parceling out information, because while trailers usually give you pretty much a good breakdown of what's going to happen in the movie, at least some sort of plot, something. Too many movies these days are just coming out with like 4 or 5 trailers, even like the big 3 trailers, and then you know exactly, okay, this is going to happen, then this will happen, then this will happen. Don't really need to see the movie now because all the jokes are in it, and we're done. And Deadpool was something that was done so well, not giving you really any more information than the first trailer did. You knew Deadpool was going to fight some people. you knew there was going to be 2 major fight scenes, but after that, it was pretty much anybody's guess. What was going to happen, who was going to appear, if there was going to be any surprises coming out. And then all the other marketing was either what they do, like the Valentine's Day, they made it like a Valentine's Day promotional poster and a billboard that was like, oh, it's a love story, bring your girlfriend in.
Yeah.
And without giving, I mean, it was a love story, it was great, but it brought more people interested into it without giving away every single plot point, every single joke, every character that was involved. I thought it was just phenomenal the way they did it. And I think it was done that way because it's Deadpool and you can do it that way. You wouldn't be able to do a marketing campaign like that with just an X-Men movie.
No.
No one's going to watch the X-Men tell you how to check yourself for testicular cancer. Like, no one's going to want to watch bald Professor Xavier tell you how to handle your man junk.
I would be okay with that, actually. I'd be okay with that.
If it was Patrick Stewart telling us, I would watch it all day long.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
bald Professor X telling me to manhandle my junk to make sure that some doctor doesn't have to manhandle it later, like manhandle it right off.
Right.
I'd be down with that. I'm okay with that.
But you know what I mean? Like, there's certain characters you could do stuff like that with that you can take out of the movie. And because Deadpool does break the fourth wall, you can take him out of the movie and have him do promotional ads for Flag Day and for what was the one he did for Australia?
I don't remember.
He did one where he wore a hat and it was Australia Day or whatever. And you can take him out of the movie. It wasn't about the movie. It was about Deadpool. You can't do that with like Superman. What are you going to endorse with Superman? Like, like no one wants to watch that.
You mentioned that, and now my mind went back to, wow, even the marketing was Deadpool self-serving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Deadpool. It was Deadpool being Deadpool and just making fun of everything.
They marketed the character, not a movie, and that was genius. And you can only do that with Deadpool. I don't think you could do that with any other character out there.
Yeah.
There might be 1 or 2 other characters you can try to do it with, but I can't think of them off the top of my head. Maybe the Suicide Squad. Maybe. But that'd be more of it wouldn't be the same. But to bring it into a little bit of context, before Batman v Superman came out, they did a couple promotional they weren't trailers, they were commercials for airlines. And one was going to Metropolis and one was going to Gotham.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
One was Batman, one was Superman, and nobody gave a shit. Nobody cared. You can't endorse, like, no one cares about Bruce Wayne endorsing a plane. Like, you're a billionaire. You have your own jet. I don't care. That's not making me want to go see your movie, and it's not playing up the character. It's not playing up the movie or the character. But Deadpool did it, and it was great. So...
I was going to say, before you start ranting about Batman versus Superman, which I'm sure we'll do on another podcast.
We've talked about Batman versus Superman every single episode. And I know that this is, I guess, technically this is episode 2. We've recorded another episode between this, and we're going to number it number 3. But on 3 episodes that we've talked about, it's come up.
Yeah.
I don't mean to keep bringing it up. It's just that was the last big movie, like blockbuster type movie that has come out, other than The Force Awakens, which we did a podcast on.
Yeah.
But I mean, we were just talking about the marketing thing, and that tied into it. I don't know any other. Can you guys name any other movie that's done anything like that?
Viral marketing?
Well, no, because Deadpool did commercials for. He was Deadpool doing commercials for stuff. Batman vs Superman did have those 2 commercials that they made for themselves. They were backed by the airline, and they were promoting the airline, but. I don't remember, and I could be wrong, I don't remember any other movie really doing anything like that.
Oh,
and it didn't work for Batman v Superman, but it worked for Deadpool.
They had a huge viral marketing campaign for Cloverfield, and it was really, really witty. And it was so...
I don't remember that.
Yeah, you wouldn't, because it was so well done that you wouldn't know that it was for Cloverfield.
How does that make you want to go see that movie?
That's the thing. It ties into this. It's a little more sophisticated than just advertising, but a lot of the backstory. If you go back now and you look at some of the viral marketing for Cloverfield, it really talks a lot about the things leading up to Cloverfield, and it's pretty interesting if you get a chance.
Yeah, but see, I don't remember any of that. That's not something I'm going to remember. Even we're talking about it now. I'm not going to remember it tomorrow. that we even talked about it because it wasn't something that stuck with you. Deadpool does. His marketing things, I remember almost everything that came out for him because it was just funny and Deadpool and very spot on for the character. And then it made me want to go see that movie. If the Cloverfield doesn't even make you remember it, I don't know. I don't see how I would want to go see that movie. And I didn't see it. So there.
I kind of want to go back and look for that stuff now because I love that stuff. I love that kind of marketing where they like inject what's going on in their media into like what seems like a real world situation. One of the things that I absolutely loved, if anybody has ever played the PS4 game or PS3 game converted to PS4, The Last of Us.
Oh my God.
Do you two need a moment now?
You know, now that Uncharted 4 is done, I'm really hoping they're working on that, but that's for another thing. Anyway, so but I don't know if you know this, but for The Last of Us, they actually created a couple of different Twitter accounts for like in-game businesses, and the one that sticks out of my mind is Weston's Pharmacy. It's a game. I think you saw it more in the DLC, which is. Oh God, I can't think of the title of it right now, but it's basically Ellie's story before she meets Joel, and it's like the pharmacy's like, oh, we're out of this vaccine, we're closed till further notice, and like it doesn't really mention the game at all, and like I don't know, it creates such a different world. It just brings you into that world, and I love that kind of stuff. I love it. I think it's great.
Oh, that is pretty cool.
Yeah. So okay. So all that set aside now, I think we're ready to throw out some ratings here. Just for good measure, I do like to throw in the Rotten Tomatoes ratings. Deadpool is rated certified fresh at 84%, and it has a 91% audience score.
Not bad.
Woo.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
That is an A.
Yeah. All right. What should be our rating system for this one?
Severed heads.
I was gonna say Flying Fox.
I love it. I love
Flying
it.
Fox is a good one.
I love it. All right, Marcel.
I would actually rate this. I'm gonna give it an 8.5 to 9 Flying Fox out of 10.
Okay.
Solid, but not the best.
I would give it a solid 9 Flying Fox out of 10. And the only reason it loses 1 is because there are there are a few hits the movie takes. Can't think of any right now, but because it's amazing and I'm thinking of Ryan Reynolds, but it was fantastic and I loved it. So I definitely a solid 9.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. I would definitely give it a 9 Flying Fucks. The only thing that does bring it down is that it is a little bit of a predictable story, but you're going to absolutely love the ride.
See, I didn't think it was that predictable of a story. I really thought they were going to kill her.
Oh,
I thought she was going to die.
I'm
really happy she didn't die because I'm like, yes, you didn't do the thing.
I didn't think she was going to die for a second.
I
no,
did.
I had it pegged pretty much through the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you two are better at reading movies than me, apparently.
Well.
All right. So is there anything else we want to talk about before we start wrapping things up? Anything on TV, anything in comics, video games, anything you two want to bring up?
Well, I just started DC Rebirth. It has so far been nothing really new. I don't know where the reboot is coming in, so we'll see how that plays out once it gets further into the story. I am not excited about it, so we'll see what happens with DC. They're not the best with these. Okay, it's not a reboot, but they're reissuing and they're changing things up. So we'll see what happens, but
what is it that caused Rebirth to come around again? I always forget.
I don't even know at this point. They killed Darkseid, and apparently Dr. Manhattan is the one who caused the New 52, and he's manipulating things behind the scenes. And
is that the guy from The Watchmen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're merging the Watchmen universe with the DC universe, which is fine.
Was Watchmen DC?
Well, DC bought up the company that made the Watchmen, I believe.
Got it.
So they're separate. The one thing that DC has that Marvel doesn't is that Marvel's all their titles were kind of built through Marvel, so everything interconnects very well. DC kind of nabbed up a bunch of little companies here and there, so they try to mesh a bunch of their stuff together, and it doesn't really work because it doesn't, like, they're from different companies who didn't even try to they weren't trying to be part of DC. They were just doing their own thing.
Got it.
So I don't really know exactly what's happening with Rebirth yet. I read the Rebirth #1. It kind of gives you an idea of what's happening in that Dr. Manhattan is behind everything. I've read the first 2 issues of, let's see, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Detective Comics Rebirth. I don't know what they're trying to set up with this. I don't know where they're going, because Rebirth #1 happened and you think, oh, maybe they're going to have a thing. No, nothing has happened yet. I don't know what is going on. So I just have to wait to see the other titles that come out. I have some of them digitally. I just haven't read them yet. So hopefully we get some answers. But again, DC's not the best with these, I don't know, reissuing. So I didn't really like how they did the New 52, but it wasn't done terribly. But they have problems with their overarching stories that interconnect everywhere. Like Convergence was interesting, but ultimately meant nothing. And then they have problems with that. So I don't know if they're just trying to do too much or not. But I'll give it a try. We'll see what happens. So far, Wonder Woman's been interesting. So there's that.
I wouldn't mind getting a new Watchmen series, though.
I'd like to see more of the Watchmen, although I don't really know what's supposed to be happening with this, or if they're really merging universes or not. It's been very heavily hinted at that Dr. Manhattan is the one that's behind everything, that created the New 52, and he stole time from them is really what happened. So the reason the New 52 happened and everyone's legacy is all messed up now is because he stole 10 years of time from everybody. So that's why no one remembers anybody or remembers the relationships. But they never actually say Dr. Manhattan. But at the end of Rebirth #1, you see like Batman unearths the little smiley face pin with the blood stain on it, which also implies that the Joker is probably the comedian, at least one iteration of the comedian, which is interesting. I do like that, but now there's 3 Jokers, and I have no idea what the fuck is going on there either.
That sounds
they haven't
exhausting.
touched on it. It's ridiculous. That's why DC is not very, very good at those things. But I mean, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and try it out. The stories themselves within their titles are still interesting to read. I just don't know how it's all going to tie in together. So that's my big thing right now. I also have like a crap ton of these subscription boxes coming this month. So
Oh, we do some unboxing videos.
Yeah, great. We're those people now. Fantastic. But I do have a lot of them coming because Suicide Squad will be coming out, and most of the themes are Suicide Squad, and I am a sucker for Harley Quinn. So gotta get it.
Isn't there a TV show you want to plug real fast?
Yes, I have also. I'm trying not to hijack it because I've hijacked the Facebook feed and the Twitter account. But we're trying to save my show Galavant.
You got 60 seconds. Go.
Please hashtag more Galavant and go to Hulu and annoy Hulu and Amazon and Netflix and try to get them to pick up Galavant for season 3. We need to know what happens with Gareth and Madalena, and I am so heartbroken right now. Joe is about to freak out.
Listen, of all the things you just listed, Netflix is the only thing we have available in Canada, and it's not on Canadian Netflix, so I have no idea.
Well, go to Canadian Netflix and tell them Galavant.
Excuse me. Hello. What?
Hey, we're not that far from marching down to Netflix headquarters right now and be like, excuse me, would you sign, please? We're all going to camp out here until you do. And that's exactly what will happen. And I do not put that past us. We are a very strong, very dedicated bunch.
All right. You got your plug.
Marcel,
is there anything you're into right now that's going on?
No, not really. I just this week there is a Sonic the Hedgehog sale on Humble Bundle for Steam, and so I'm a huge Sonic the Hedgehog fan, and I think it's because this month is the 25th anniversary that the big thing's happening.
That makes sense.
So I picked up Sonic Adventure 2 on Humble Bundle for like $7, which is pretty cool, and I've been playing that. It's awful in all the right ways. my arcade block just came in today. My subscription box that has all the cool video game things had some really awesome Sonic the Hedgehog vinyl stickers and the coolest Street Fighter sushi set.
I saw that picture you put on Facebook.
It's so
about
cool.
That's pretty badass.
Is that part of Nerd Block?
Yeah, it's the arcade block is just the video game version of.
Yeah, I just subscribed to Nerd Block Classic.
Nice.
So,
I saw Classic, and I kind of wished I got that just this month, just because of the Ghostbusters stuff that they're toting around. But apparently, there's a Legend of Zelda something in there every single month, and this month it was a notebook. And if you know me, you know I'm the biggest sucker for notebooks for some fucking reason. I'll go to chapters.
Keep piling up.
I'll go to chapters, and Christine's out looking at books, checking out the bargain bins, looking I'm over in the notebook section, and I'm like, oh, this is a great notebook. I'm gonna buy this notebook. Oh, look, that notebook's on sale. I'm gonna get this notebook. Through my house, within arm's reach. Let me count the number of notebooks I have that I haven't even written in. 1, 2,
oh my God.
3, 4, 5 notebooks at my disposal right now here in my hands that no good reason, I just have them, and I feel like I want to draw on them. Some of them I do, but I just have them. I like them, and I won't stop. But anyways, there was this Zelda notebook in it, and it's awesome.
Well, if I get some sort of Ghostbusters notebook, it'll be shipped to you along with your Christmas present that has been sitting here for 6 months. Eventually, you'll get it. We'll just have to drive up to see you. It's probably going to be easier for us to just drive to see you than it is for me to mail.
It'll be faster.
Yeah, it really will be.
So that's what's going on with me. There's not a whole lot. Not a whole lot.
What about you, Joe?
Cool. I'm reading Civil War 2 right now. It feels kind of forced. Meh.
Oh, I love the first Civil War. I'm still. How many years ago was that? And I'm still.
Oh yeah.
I'm still so obsessed with that entire story arc. It's just if you haven't
I don't know enough
read
about
through,
Civil War.
if you're not a comics person, get your hands on the Civil War. Go to Comixology or something and grab the app, grab all of the Civil War, because it's gonna blow your fucking mind.
Yeah, we're talking the original Civil War, not the recent Civil War that just came out with Battleworld, the whole Battleworld arc.
Yeah, and not like the Captain America movie Civil War bullshit. No, you want the actual Civil War. Maybe we'll do an episode about the Civil War arc. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
If you want to do an episode about Civil War arc, I will read them all.
That'd be a good show.
I can hook you up.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But Civil War 2 feels kind of forced because it's a sort of thing. I don't know if anybody's watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but basically they found this one Inhuman who can, he gets visions of the future, and basically it's Tony Stark again. Tony Stark saying, oh, well, it's just a possibility. We shouldn't go risking lives to try and change the future. We should preserve things as they are because we should let things go as they should. And you got Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, who's saying, well, if we have the power to fix things, why shouldn't we go fix them? Next thing you know, he sees something happening. Carol sends a bunch of people out to go stop it. Some people wind up dying, and now, boom, Civil War 2.
Yeah.
So it's kind of...
And that's always kind of a fault of anything that tries to do a vision of the future kind of look, because you always have that, well, should we or shouldn't we? Yeah. And that's usually the conflict of it. And then usually you're a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it turns out you really shouldn't have, and now you fucked yourself.
Yeah.
So, I'm not going to go too much into it because I could talk about forever, but I don't know if you've ever watched Heroes, but the original Heroes series was really, really, really super fantastic, especially the first season. And they had one of the main characters was a time traveler, and they did a really, really fantastic job of cause to effect time travel, where everything that was, there's a premonition of everything, and everything led to another thing. Like everything that happened was because of things that happened in the past. Like you can't change the future. Everything that you do to change the future is what causes it to happen. Yeah, it's really fantastic. And seriously, if you haven't watched at least the first season of Heroes, you need to. You're gonna die.
I've heard that about Heroes. I have not watched an episode. What? I know.
Do you not have Heroes on Netflix? Because
I know. We probably do.
Honestly,
I haven't actually searched for it because by the time I heard about Heroes, it was canceled.
Yeah, honestly, watch the first 2 episodes of Heroes, and you won't sleep until you're done. The rest of the seasons get pretty shitty, but that first season is like everything you could ever want in a TV show.
That's cool.
All right. Put it on my list.
All right.
It's Good.
All right. So I guess we can wrap this sucker up. What are we looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to the new Motorola Z, you Yanks.
I wish we said Zed. We really should.
It's the Motorola Z. It looks so cool. I'm a big smartphone nerd. Like in my direct reach right now, I can reach 3 of them. I'm only really using one as my main driver right now, but I'm really looking forward to it. There was a lot of really cool stuff in the rollout. I just got a Samsung Galaxy Gear, which is super cool. So I've recently been delving into the VR stuff. So I'm really looking forward to more of that.
Do you think VR is going to be like a big thing, or do you think it's just kind of like a fad that's going to go away?
It's the next big thing. Like the big thing was touch screens, right? That a fad that we were kind of on the same edge. Then it was 3G speed. I don't know. I don't need 3G speed. And then great big megapixel cameras. I don't need that. Then fingerprint sensors. That's ridiculous. We don't need that. Honestly, I don't know if it's going to be like the only thing, but it's definitely going to be a big thing. It's going to lead a lot of, I think there's going to be a lot of development. Already there's been a lot of development. Like E3 in itself had a ton of VR stuff. Like everywhere you turn, you see like knockoff, no-name brand, VR headsets and whatnot. I think that the big player is going to be VR for your cell phone. You pop it into one of these headsets. But seriously, if you get a VR system and you get a game like World of Warcraft or something, you might as well say goodbye to people all over again. Remember when WoW first came about and it first got big? People started playing it. You started losing friends and family members. Like people stopped going out because they were too busy raiding. That will happen again. And I'm looking at you, Blizzard, as a person who plays WoW. I think that this is what you need to do. If nothing else, put WoW on VR and you will just make all the money, every single money.
All the monies.
Yeah, every one of them.
Interesting. Jenna, anything you're looking forward to?
Looking forward to Galavant getting picked up for season 3. Keep tweeting. Bother them. Eventually they'll give into the peer pressure. But aside from that, I am excited for a movie called Lights Out that I just recently saw a preview on earlier today, which I tweeted at James Wan and the writer and got a tweet back. So pretty freaking excited about that one. It means we're best friends now. But it looks really interesting. It looks like a classic horror movie, but it also looks like it might be a little bit more. It looks like it's going to be more of a psychological thriller as well as a horror movie, and I really like those. We just saw The Conjuring 2 not too long ago, and we'll be probably doing a review on that later. But we saw The Conjuring 2. It was very predictable. We all knew what was going to happen. Everyone's always a demon. But I'm always excited for new horror movies to come out that looks like it's going to be, even if it doesn't actually turn out to be different, the trailer made me feel like it would. And I'm pretty excited to see what they're going to do because I actually do really like, James Wan and his movies. So it's gonna be fun for me one way or another.
All right.
It's exciting.
I am hesitantly looking forward to Independence Day Resurgence.
Hesitantly.
I say hesitantly because a lot of the movies recently that have come out as sequels to movies that have come out originally like 15 years ago have not been fantastic at all. I very, very, very let down. But it's space, and it's aliens, and it's spaceships, and it's lasers, and it's Chris Pine, so...
Chris Pine.
What am I going to do? Of course I'm going to go see this movie. So, I'm looking forward to it hesitantly.
Yeah.
Fair
We're trying
enough.
not to get your hopes up, so that's always good.
So that's that. Any last words, any last thoughts?
Deadpool was fucking amazing, and go # more Galavant.
Don't eat yellow snow.
Middle of June, I don't think that's a problem.
If you have yellow snow in the middle of June, you have a different situation that we don't know about.
Actually,
right?
it's closer to the end of June.
It's almost July.
Yeah, the longest day is past, where it's only going to get more wintry from here.
Why must you people torment me? I give you 9 months of my life for winter. Just let me have my summertime. I am always so cold. It is so cold all the time, and it's so gray. The sky is finally blue. The weather is finally nice. Why must you count down to your winter? I hate you both. I hired Deadpool to kick your ass.
All right. Well, I think that'll do it for us. This has been Fantastic Reviews. Catch us on Facebook. Find us facebook.com/Fantastic Reviews Podcast. Catch us on Twitter at Fantastic Podcast, spelled PODCST, because I could not get enough letters for the handle. And catch us on YouTube also. I don't think we have a customized YouTube channel yet because we do not have enough subscribers. So find us on YouTube. I do have a link to all our YouTube videos on the Facebook page, so you can find us through there. Watch our videos, like them, and subscribe to us so I can actually get a customized URL for our YouTube channel, which would be nice.
Yay!
Sweet.
Progress. I think we actually had one view that wasn't us. It was pretty exciting.
Nowhere
Pretty
to go but
exciting.
up from here.
I know, right? You can't go down from one. We can get a dislike, but that one view is still there.
Yeah, you just jinxed it. Okay, bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Fantastic shit.